They call it Devil's Canyon, a remote gorge tucked deep in the Utah wilderness. It's far from the city, and there's absolutely no signal out there. According to stories, the canyon used to be the site of strange rituals performed by an ancient tribe that once lived there. No one really knows what the rituals were about, but rumors say they had something to do with summoning nature spirits. There's also talk of a group of people who went into the canyon decades ago and never came back, not even trained search. Dogs could find their tracks. They vanished into thin air like the earth swallowed them whole. Since then, the locals have avoided the place entirely. The government even took down the old signs pointing to the area. But somehow, the more forbidden it is, the more curious people get. That curiosity brought in 5 thrill-seeking college kids: Mason, Liam, Tyler, Chloe, and Riley. They were all from a neighboring state, city kids on their fall break, hungry for something exciting to film for their horror-themed YouTube channel. They'd explored all kinds of spooky places before, but none of them ever felt truly haunted. At worst, they'd get a little creeped out, maybe a weird noise or two. Nothing ever crossed the line into real fear. Then Mason stumbled across a thread on Reddit. Someone mentioned Devil's Canyon in a post that sounded more like a warning than a story. He told the group, "Guys, this is it. This is gold content." The thread was anonymous, and the post simply said, "Don't go to Devil's Canyon. There are whispers from the cave. My friend never came back." There were tons of comments, but none of them made much sense. No clear directions, just vague hints. The only clue was that it could be reached through a dirt road after leaving the main highway. The 5 of them agreed to leave on Friday. Early in the morning, they rented an SUV and packed all the camping gear: tents, flashlights, cameras, food, and of course, a GoPro and a drone for footage. The plan was to stay one night, shoot a vlog, and head back the next day. Mason had already marked the route on an offline map, knowing they'd be completely off-grid once they got there before reaching the canyon. They stopped at a tiny old gas station at the edge of a dusty road. The place was eerily quiet. Outside the shop sat an old man on a rocking chair, staring blankly into the distance like he was trapped in a memory. When Mason and Liam went inside to grab water and fuel, the old man suddenly spoke without being asked, his voice low but firm. "Don't go to Devil's Canyon, son. That place isn't right, especially when the moon is dark." Mason froze for a second. He hadn't even mentioned where they were going yet. But Liam just chuckled and replied, "We're just going on a little trip, sir. Just for one night." The old man stared at them for a long moment, silent. Then he blinked slowly, wrapping his arms around himself like he was cold. "If you're still young, and you want to live long, don't unlock a door that was meant to stay shut." Back in the car, Chloe scoffed. Classic local scare tactic. "They just don't want us to go, so we spend more money at their store." The others laughed. Riley immediately turned on the camera and started narrating. "So we just got a spooky welcome from the old gas station guy. Vibes are already creepy." Everyone chuckled. But out of all of them, only Tyler looked uneasy. He'd always been the most sensitive one in the group, but he kept his thoughts to himself. The drive into the canyon took about an hour along a bumpy dirt road. The further they went, the fewer trees they saw. Eventually, all they could see were giant red rocks surrounding them. The wind was cold and steady, and the sky was starting to darken. By the time they arrived at the location Mason had marked, the sun was already beginning to set. The place was dead silent. No birds, no rustling leaves, just the sound of their footsteps and their breathing. It was the kind of silence that made your ears ring. They started setting up camp on a flat area near the canyon's edge. From where they stood, the gorge looked like a massive mouth waiting to swallow something whole. Still, Chloe was thrilled. She launched the drone and started flying it over the cliffs to get some panoramic shots. Riley and Liam were busy assembling the tripod. Mason checked the gear, and Tyler just sat there, staring out into the canyon like it was staring back at them. As night fell, they lit a campfire and sat in a circle, filming their usual banter. They joked about other haunted places they'd been to, until Chloe said, "But seriously though, this place feels different. It's too quiet, like even the crickets are gone." Liam replied, "Guess the ghosts here are exclusive. They only show up for brave YouTubers like us." They all laughed. Time went on, and the temperature dropped fast. Mason said he was gonna crash early, feeling tired. The others stayed up a little longer, roasting marshmallows and chatting. But when Liam opened his bag to grab a jacket, he noticed something weird. His smartwatch compass was spinning uncontrollably, like it couldn't find true north. "Huh, that's weird. My compass is freaking out. Maybe it's the magnetic field around these rocks." He shrugged it off. Everyone did. But in reality, that was the first sign. Before going to bed, they all recorded quick messages for the vlog. Chloe smiled at the camera and said, "Okay guys, if we don't upload tomorrow, it means we got dragged into the canyon by some demon." She laughed. Mason gave a faint smile. Tyler didn't join the joke. Instead, he walked a little away from camp, staring into the pitch-black gorge. That's when he heard a soft sound from far away, like a whisper. He thought it might have just been the wind, but something about it felt too deliberate. That first night passed, but when morning came, not everything was the same as before.